Hi, I am Victoria and I'm the owner of Daughter Music LLC, a music company right here in Atlanta, Georgia, where we provide private music lessons for voice, piano, guitar, and drums, as well as audition, performance, and workshop opportunities and entertainment legal services. Yes, we are the one-stop shop for all artists. Thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast, Note to Note. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing the importance of owning your own masters. Now, I know you're probably inquiring what are masters and why is that really important to me as an artist? Well, when you are owning your masters, that means that you own the copyright to the sound recordings of your music. Now, the most important word in that particular phrase is copyright. So let's say that you're in your recording studio and you record some music, then you notate it on a digital file as well as compute it on sheet music. Automatically, copyright exists. However, if you feel that that music is going to be successful or you want it to be included in other mediums, then I highly encourage you to copyright your music. Now, if you have not watched my episode, What is Copyright, that will definitely give you a detailed account about the importance of copywriting any original work. But going a step further of owning your masters, of course, you must copyright a song in two parts. The first one being copywriting the musical work. When we're talking about the musical work, we are defining it as the underlying composition accompanied by lyrics. And the second part, of course, is copywriting the sound recording. So if you are the owner of your master, that means that you are the copyright owner of your music. Now, as we look at and take it a step further, there are two sides of possibly owning your masters. Let's say that you are signed to a label. You are recently signed to a label. Well, if you are signed to a label, you will be issued a recording agreement. Now, artists, I know sometimes we get an agreement, we look at the financial aspects only, but that is not the most important aspect. If you do not know how to understand a red line agreement, I highly encourage you to hire a legal professional, especially an entertainment attorney. So when you receive that recording agreement, there are going to be things that's going to be discussed, such as your advances, your promotion costs, your touring, anything that is needed to help you be successful as an artist. Now, it's not only going to be done on your own merit, time, and money, but also the label. So that means that if you are signed to a label, unless there are special provisions in your recording agreement, that means that you do not own your masters. Now, I know you probably wonder, well, if I'm signed to a label and I'm not the owner of the masters, well, what can they do for me? Of course, labels have been around for decades. Yes, they will help promote your music, to distribute your music, to market your music. They will give you all the necessary income so that you are successful. But do know that in your recording agreement, they must recoup any investments that they have upon you. So that means after the advances, the touring, the promotions, everything that we see when we're looking or getting excited about these big time artists and their tours, the label must recoup that. And they have the ultimate permission to do whatever they want with your music. So that is very important. So if you are signed to a label, unless there's a special provision in your recording agreement, they are the owners of your master. On the flip side, if you are an independent artist, well, congratulations, because you have 100% creative control over your music. That means you can accept or deny any request of how your music is being involved in any particular project. Also, you can maximize, as the owner of your master, you can maximize your money as well as include and increase all of the projects. So if that's in a television, film, advertisement, whatever the deal is, you are the owners of your masters. Now, being an independent artist, that takes a whole lot of time and effort because you don't have the backing of a label, but that doesn't mean that you cannot be successful. So there are advantages of being signed to a label as well as being an independent artist. I want you to really take a closer examination of what is important to you. Why are you an artist? And why are you creating music? Or all above, why are you being a creator for our communities? Whatever that answer is, see if being signed to a label or being an independent artist is important to you. So no, signed to a label, more than likely, you're not the owner of your masters, but most importantly, if you're an independent artist, generally 100% you are the owners of your masters. Now, as we continue to move forward with this conversation, this is not the first time that this conversation has come up in our ever-changing industry. Even if we look at one of our most famous pop artists right now, Taylor Swift, and we look at recently, since 2021, she has been releasing some of her older records and albums. If you don't realize that at the age of 15, she was signed to a label, Big Machine Records, and she produced 6 albums under that recording agreement. However, all of that work and time and effort she put in, she was not the owner of those masters. So, of course, they came back after that deal had ended. Big Machine Records wanted to renegotiate her deal, but she said, nope, I want to own my masters. And now, under her current recording agreement, she has the ability, because of the provision of her former label, she is able to re-record, those older albums. So I think 2 of them that she published recently was Fearless and Red. And I definitely salute Taylor Swift in her journey because she has always been a voice and advocate for artists. But is she the first artist to do it? No. If we even take it down a little further with all that wonderful Purple Rain, you know who I'm talking about, Prince. Prince was a huge advocate of owning your masters. And at the time of his recording agreement, he was not the owner of his masters. And he said, hey, I'm going to re-record these singles and own this. But ultimately, before he passed away, he was the owner of his master. So I'm going to leave you with this quote that was eloquently said by Prince. If you don't own the masters, then the master will own you. So take the necessary steps to examine your recording agreement, or take a closer examination of how you want to be seen as an artist. If you put in the time and the work, protect all of your creations. Be the owners of that so that you can decide what has a huge impact on your community. For we are working together to learn and be the owners of our masters and never allowing them to own us. Thank you so much for joining in today's episode of Owning Your Own Masters. If you want to have a more detailed discussion about this, feel free to schedule a discovery session at note2notepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.